3-eye atlas, alien technology or celestial codes. So we're going to be talking about in this talk about the upcoming solstice in December, the revelations that are coming to the surface. So this is a topic that's kind of outside my wheelhouse, but I can imagine in the next few months it's going to be really not only in my wheelhouse, but it's going to be in your wheelhouse too, because I have a feeling it's going to be something that everyone's going to be talking about. So you can just share with your friends when they mention it to you in October and November and December. You say, oh, I've known about that for a while now. So every once in a while, a visitor enters our solar system that challenges everything that we know. And so in July 2025, astronomers discovered what they've named 3-eye atlas, only the third interstellar object ever detected, but this time it's a different one. Scientists are now baffled by its glow, its unusual trajectory, and its strange chemistry. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb even wonders if it could be even nuclear powered. So, NASA has suddenly gone quiet, and metaphysical voices are speaking up. And here's the timing that gives me the chills the most when I discovered it, that on December 19th, 2025, it will be the closest to the Earth just 2 days before the solstice. And today I want to share what this anomaly means for our physical bodies, our emotions, our minds, and our spirit. But before I get into that, I want to let you know what inspired this talk. So first of all, I knew nothing about it. It was news to me. And so for those who are on the cutting edge of information, and for those who are kind of into this kind of thing, they were writing me and they wanted to know what I was seeing as a clairvoyant. What did I know about this? What kind of insights? Do I think it's alien technology? Do I think it's the mothership coming in? Or do I think that it's a meteor or a comet? And at that time, I was kind of in the midst of some big family stuff going on. So I just kept bypassing all the emails. And then I thought, all right, I've got a minute now, so I'm going to explore this. And wow, when I started exploring it, the information is still really new. So I highly encourage all of you to do your own deep dive, go down that rabbit hole, and together we'll figure it out, I think. All right, so the science, let's start there. So 3-eye atlas is about the size of Manhattan. It's rich in carbon dioxide, unusually so for a comet, with traces of water, cyanide, and nickel. Unlike ordinary comets that trail dust behind them, this one shows, this is what really got me, was a front glowing light that seems to be shining from within. So most comets have a tail. So I was going through and I was looking at images of comets with a tail, but this one has the light in the front. So I don't know a lot about comets, but I know enough to know that that's pretty different. So Avi Loeb, his last name is spelled Loeb. He's a Harvard astrophysicist. He is well known for his bold ideas, has speculated that the light that's coming out the front could actually be a nuclear-powered spacecraft. And he's not the only one that's saying this. There's many physicists and people who kind of dive into quantum physics and astrophysicists. They're all, I wouldn't say that anybody has put their finger on anything that's certain, but there is a buzz going on in the world. So as I make this video, we all get to join in on that buzz. So it's not just rock or an ice ball. He points out that it closely Its trajectory aligns with the solar system plane and how improbably it passes. It's the way they're looking at it. It's like it's highly improbable that it passes near planets like Venus, Mars, and Jupiter's. Most astronomers say it's just a comet. All right, so they're saying, okay, this is silly, it's just a comet. We're wasting a lot of time really exploring that it's a comet and that we should be doing research on it. And everybody's kind of getting, sidestepping by saying it's aliens and it's a spacecraft. So there's definitely science on both sides. What I find about it that's a lot of fun is it's causing a buzz. It's causing people to have a conversation. So, and again, we get to join in that conversation. But everybody agrees it is an anomaly. It is acting different than a comet does. And this unusual force is asking all of us really big questions. And we've been talking, the astrology has been talking about galactic presence being more in the world. I've been talking about it in relation to the blue beings of light. And I've known that we're going to have more of a galactic presence, whatever that means, even if it's simply a frequency, over the next 3 years. So at first, NASA and ESA released regular updates to the public, but as the object's behavior began to grow more puzzling, the flow of new public data slowed down. Why? That's what I wanted to know. And some people suggest that they want to study it without fueling any public panic or wild speculation. And I do encourage all of us to keep our head on straight about this, because nobody really knows at this point. Others believe it's because what's being seen doesn't fit neatly in any known categories that have ever existed before. But the silence is feeding both curiosity and concern. It's like, okay, why is everybody going dark on this? What are you hiding from us? Because, we have to admit, we don't always trust what we don't know about. All right, so Avi Loeb leads the charge with radical speculation. Other astrophysicists cautiously admit that 3I Atlas doesn't behave like a normal comet. And in the metaphysical world, teachers and mystics are saying this isn't random, it's a sign, it's a frequency. And some actually describe it as codes awakening. And others are calling it a cosmic mirror that's reflecting humanity's readiness for awakening into higher states of consciousness. So I really did look around. I wanted to know what psychics like me, clairvoyants like me were saying about what's happening. And does this have the potential to hurt or harm or uplift humanity? So I did look it up, and I know you're all going to laugh at this. This anomaly will have no impact on the Earth or humans. Everybody's totally safe. And I just laugh about that because it's like, how do they know? Like, really, how do they know? All right, so when I looked at it clairvoyantly, I see 3I Atlas emitting waves that strike the Earth and strike the human energy field like a cleansing light. And this isn't about destruction, it's more about a purification. And you've heard me talking about this from several angles. So physically, it can purge inflammation from the body, helping the body operate with a sharper efficiency, enhanced intuition, and pure clarity. And how did Spirit show me this? Well, it's like Spirit showed me a human figure in a tube. I think of it like a toothpaste tube. And when you take it and you just kind of strip it down like this, and all the goo comes out of the tube, or all the toothpaste comes out of the tube. They were showing me this, but it was a clear gelatinous energy. So it was like this anomaly of 3I Atlas, as it comes by, there seems to be some type of magnetic shift, and it purges inflammation. And that's just how I was shown. So physically, it triggers the purge of inflammation so that the body can operate more efficiently. Emotionally, any buried resentments, such as anger and grief, will rise to the surface so it too can be purged. Mentally, the fog of distraction lifts, making way for laser type clarity with enhanced intuition. And spiritually, it opens the door for higher frequencies of truth and connection. So, from the way that I was looking at it, it wasn't anything to fear, but it is something to prepare for. That, you definitely want to be running your energy and grounding and taking walks. There's nothing new that I haven't said before. It's just about staying on top of your self-care. So here's a little bit of a medical bridge that I wanted to bring into this when we're talking about inflammation in the body. Because as you know, I am a registered nurse, so it's important to me. I want to know, how is this going to impact me? Now, I do know that as consciousness, as humanity's awakening on the planet, we're all experiencing multiple shifts in our bodies, emotions, mind, and our consciousness. And for some of us, those what would we call those ascension symptoms may be very minor, unnoticeable, and for others, they can be more major. But this isn't new. In the last 5 years, we've been going through waves of this. So you should be well practiced on how to handle those ascension symptoms. And for those of you who are new to this information, it's like you know what to do when you don't feel good. So, okay, so the medical bridge. Now, here's something that's fascinating because even medical doctors, totally outside of the metaphysical world, say the same thing. When inflammation clears, the body transforms. Doctors call inflammation the silent fire. I call it a transformational frequency because it fuels so many, inflammation in the body fuels so many diseases that we struggle with, like heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, even Alzheimer's. But when the fire is put out, the frequency changes, the whole body system shifts. So pain and stiffness in the body eases, the heart and the blood vessels relax, and your energy levels rise. And I know a lot of you would love anticipating something like that. And your brain clears from what many call fog, where you have sharper intuition and ability to mentally focus. So for those with, ADHD or ADD, or, it's like you may start to notice that you may be able to focus much easier. People will often describe when the inflammation starts to release out of their body, and that usually happens through exercise and diet changes, and cutting out sugar is a big culprit. So people will often describe suddenly feeling lighter, younger, more focused. So imagine what happens when a cosmic event like the 3-eye atlas catalyzes this kind of purge, not just in our individual bodies, but as a collective, as all of humanity. It's not just that your joints will move more freely, it's humanity itself moves with less resistance. It's not just your mind becoming clear, it's our collective mind stepping into a much greater clarity. I did meditate on this, and this is the information that I was getting. I'm super excited about it, but we never know how it's going to translate into reality, do we? But we can still get prepared. So, the root of chronic disease, let me talk about this. So modern medicine now recognizes that chronic inflammation is the underlying driver of, as I said, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, autoimmune disorders, and some cancers. When inflammation lingers in the body, your immune system is in a constant state of red alert, damaging healthy tissues over time. And when the inflammation clears, the immune system comes back into balance. It stops overreacting and begins to defend against illness more efficiently. Pain and stiffness ease, joints move easier, cardiovascular risks drop, lower blood pressure, healthier arteries, reduce risk of stroke and heart attacks. Your metabolism improves, insulin sensitivity increases. This is inflammation going down in the body. So let me just connect that dot again, that the information I was shown clairvoyantly is that when this, I'm just going to call it an anomaly, comes over, passes over, gets close to the earth, there's going to be this, we're already purging, but purging inflammation. So weight management becomes easier. Brain function sharpens, less brain less brain fog. Oh my gosh, I need to purge some inflammation. Clearer thinking, better memory, and mood. Your energy levels return. Your fatigue caused by chronic immune activation is lifted, leading you more into vitality. So when inflammation starts to release out of your body, and like I said, the biggest number one step you can do is start cutting out sugar. And that's where the inflammation, sugar really inflames the body. But when the inflammation, or what doctors call the silent fire, when it extinguishes, the body rebounds quickly, like really quickly within a few days, because energy is no longer being drained by constant repair attempts by your body. Patients frequently describe this, suddenly feeling younger and fog lifting. So again, as these sparks by the 3-eye atlas purges inflammation, there's more harmony. And again, this is a collective shift that has this great potential to happen, and it can harmonize. And what doctors say about the benefits of lowering inflammation, I don't need to say it a gazillion times, but your whole entire body is able to function more efficiently. And those all over the place emotions really start to come into a stabilizing state, and your spirit feels more aligned and is easier to take in higher frequencies. So again, these are not new. We're hearing about the astrological alignment. So let me just move right into that as I kind of bring home this talk in relationship to the 3-eye atlas, which we're just kind of calling an anomaly right now. Some people are thinking it's a major alien spacecraft, and some people are saying it's a really interesting comet. But the part that I find really fascinating, and I have my event that I do every year on the solstice. So the 3-eye atlas comes closest to the Earth on December 19th. Mark that in your calendar, just 2 days before the solstice. The solstice is always a very sacred moment, the longest night followed by the return of light. And now there's this, what's being called this interstellar traveler is aligning at this exact point. And to me, this is not a coincidence. It's kind of synchronistic. The solstice represents release, rebirth, and triumphant of light, and the 3-eye atlas amplifies these cycles, pressing humanity into the purge that inflames you so that clarity and light can begin to enter more fully. So I did tune in. And when I tune in, it's almost like I pretend like I'm going to become the anomaly. And I don't encourage everybody to do this. I do encourage you, if you feel like kind of tuning into the energy of this interstellar traveler, that you be well grounded first and that you really get your energies flowing first. I do have free meditations on my website. But I didn't need to totally move into this anomaly, but I did allow myself to kind of touch into the outer aspects of it. And there does, I don't, I don't, I didn't see any aliens or different kind of star beings or anything like that. But I could feel the power of like the magnetics, I would say it that way. Do you remember those little games where it would just, these little cheap games, and it would have these little shavings? I don't know if it was lead or what. And then you had this little magnetic pencil, and that would have this face underneath, and you could take the magnetics and move it around. Well, this is kind of what I was seeing in the human body, that this, whatever this gravitational pull or magnetics or whatever it's made up of, does help influence the body. And I am seeing that again, it's on purpose, it's strategic. So even if this anomaly is not a spaceship, I am tapping into, and I'm leaning very strongly on this side of the fence, that it is being navigated by a higher intelligence. So there is something to this, and how, which planets that it is touching. So what is it? Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, if I have that right. So in closing, this 3-eye Atlas comet, alien technology, or cosmic messenger, science and spirit may not agree, but both point to the same truth. It's an anomaly. And anomalies are opportunities. They show us where assumptions can break down and where new clarity can come to the surface. So, what's your action steps around this over the next several months before this peak at the solstice? Winter in the north, summer in the south. Support your body, treat any inflammation seriously, stay hydrated, rest, ground yourself while your body's detoxing. Emotional clearing, allow emotions to surface, journal, meditate, release them consciously, and don't repress them, just let them move through. And how about mental? Please create some quiet times for yourself. Reduce digital noise, let your mind reset for clarity. And spiritually, remember, cosmic visitors are not here to harm us if it is related to spaceships. But this anomaly is here to, I believe, awaken us. But let's just keep approaching all of it with curiosity, and if you're frightened, with courage. Stay connected, keep watching those skies, keep tuning inward. This solstice is about aligning with your inner light ultimately, with the cosmic light that is returning. And so the 3-eye Atlas, it is more than a comet. It's a solstice visitor, it's a mirror, it's a catalyst. Humanity may not feel ready, but the cosmos has decided that now is the time for us to start to shift. So just play with it in your mind. So I think that's it. So I do want to let you know that the registration for the equinox that's coming up in a few weeks, I will put the link here just below this video. It's coming up in a few weeks. I highly encourage you to register for this event. It's where I tune into an entire group. I've tuned into almost 1,000 people that I've done a reading on. I do a reading as if you are one individual. I pretend you are one individual. I've been doing these readings for 25 years now. So if you really want an opportunity to really work with a group to amplify, be a catalyst to clearing and purging, uplifting, and becoming light-minded and light-hearted, I encourage you to click on that link below and get registered today, because it's just coming up in a few weeks. Then that will really prepare you for the next event that we will have at the solstice. So please put in the comment section what you know about this, if you've been researching it, if this is new to you, but what do you think about what I said? But I do believe that we need to be talking about this. So I can't wait to see what unfolds by all of the scientists that are really looking at it. All right, everyone, take good care. Thanks for joining me. We are stronger together than we ever have been apart, and I can't wait to see what unfolds around this 3-eye atlas anomaly. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.